make sure no one's trying to land on us. And we're going to taxi out and get ready to go. Alright, so the approach end looks clear. There's no one coming down final. And as I look around the sky, I don't see anybody else in the pattern getting ready to land. No dots. So I think we are good to go. Are you ready?
Ready.
Alright. Roosterville traffic, Sonex 604 Charlie Mike, departing 18 Roosterville. That's our radio call to let them know that we're getting ready to take off. Alright, so we're on the runway, we get lined up with the center line, go to full rich on the mixture, set our flaps for takeoff, and throttle coming up nice and slow. Airspeed is live and reading. And we're climbing out.
Please have a truck, got 46 kilos, about from north and south, back, starting at 18, this one. The middle of the area. Alright, we're 6 guys, about 18, we're transport, southwest, not too miles south. Okay. We passed through there, getting a left downwind for runway 18, Roosterville. Dr. John, left downwind for 17, Carter.
That was the first guy that took off earlier this morning. So we're hearing a bunch of different people talk because some of the airports around here share the frequency. Okay. So we have our airport, we have Lee Summit over there, we're hearing them. And we might even hear some airports out in Kansas that are using that frequency.
So we have a private channel. East, west, we passed the airport and we're left downwind for runway 18. We go past runway 18.
Alright, so we're about 1,000 feet above the ground right now. So this is what it looks like at 1,000 feet. And it's not too bad, actually. We're going to see folks here and there. We're going to go up just a bit higher. See if we can smooth out just a little bit. No sense getting beat up when we don't need to.
It's a nice pretty view. It's a nice cruising altitude. You kind of see everything.
Yeah. I like to fly lower just because you get to see everything. You know, you're on an airliner and that's nice and all, but you really can't enjoy the scenery because you're so high above everything.
And you can for about the first 20 seconds of the flight.
I know. And they climb so fast that, you know, before you know it, you're way above everything. Alright, so obviously if you look off to the right there, that's downtown Kansas City. You can see the skyline over there.
Yeah, it's pretty up here.
Yeah, not smoothing out, which is nice.
Now, do you only have single engine planes, or do you have a dual engine one?
Just say that again, I didn't understand.
Do you have like a multiple prop plane, or just have a single prop?
Yeah, so I'm not rated to fly multi-engine airplanes, but it's another thing with additional training, you can get that out of your license, and then you can fly them. And you know, there's you get extra performance with the second engine. they're faster. And of course, you have the redundancy of having a second engine. You have a problem on the price. All right, if you look right down there, that's another little airport. Just a little private one down there. You can see one dirt runway, a couple of hangar buildings. So there's this little airport scattered all around.
I had no idea. Well, I knew about the one in between Kearney and Excelsior. Probably, I think, maybe.
Yeah, so there is an airport called Midwest National, which is in Mosby. And then there's the Excelsior Springs Airport. And actually, I want to turn, if you look right out over the side over here, you can see the one dark asphalt runway kind of going off like that right over there.
Yeah, that's it.
That's the Mosby Airport at Midwest National. And Excelsior Springs is right over there. It's hard to see from here. And then Kearney is just, I-35 is over here, it runs up. Kearney is out over that way. So Fusion is, you can't really see it, but it's about 10 miles that way. Maybe 15 miles.
I'm trying to keep your stuff, I bet.
So just adjusting the engine for cruise. Unlike fuel injection where the computer handles everything, we have a manual adjustment for mixture. And as we climb higher, we'll have to make mixture adjustments to get the engine running smooth and happy.
It's crazy how much farmland there is. It's like so much of a river.
Right. So if we were to follow the Missouri, we would go out this way. We'd hit, Jefferson City and Columbia. We would hit, let's pull them out. So there's not a lot of good landmarks, but that's the Higginsville Airport right there. See, what else might we? This map is more for like airport planning, not so much for reference like landmark reference.
Is there like certain areas you're not allowed to fly into just because you get in the way of certain airports?
So see these blue rings?
Yeah.
That's controlled airspace around Kansas City International. So if we go into that airspace, we have to call them and get permission to go in. If we stay out of it, we don't need the permission. Or if we stay underneath it, it doesn't start right at the ground. Sometimes it starts up at altitude. So that's what we did. We took off and we stayed underneath the ground.
All right. Figured.
And then there are other areas where we're not allowed to go into, or that maybe there's some restrictions. So like this box here that's kind of in purple, that is the military operation area around Wayman Air Force Base. Yeah. So we can go into there, but they might be flying B-2s or T-38s or something like that. So we got to really watch out for it. And we can call them and ask, hey, are you guys flying today? And they'll tell us, well, yeah, recommend you don't come over here. Yeah, so we're going to advise you at 500 knots. Alright, so I think what we'll do is just kind of swing out over this way. Kind of go over by the stadium and over by downtown and kind of swing back around. All through the house.
Am I allowed to take photos up here? Or
What's that?
am I allowed to take photos up here?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, take away. There's very few restrictions on stuff like that. If we landed at Wayman, they might not want you taking photos. There's nothing that says we can't take photos, just flying around.
Because them classified information. Well, just because all the commercials are posted on airplane mode.
Yeah.
I don't know if it like just bugs out with their instruments or whatever.
Right.
So I want to know.
That's good. It's good practice, but you're more than welcome, so.
So cool. Thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad we got a chance to get it together.
How often does Isaac come up here and take
We used to fly a lot, but since he started working at the gym, he's been a lot busier working, and so we haven't been flying very much recently.
He has a solo license, right? Or does he have a companion? He has a solo.
Yeah, he's right at the point where he's ready to, but he's not actually approved to.
Oh, okay.
So there's a whole process you have to go through, and so having the skills and being ready is just one part of that process. All the paperwork and all that stuff, that's the part that hasn't really been done. So until he does that, he won't be flying on his own. Alright, so if we look at the map here, we can see that little black line and an orange arrow. That's another airplane. It says he's +07. He's 700 feet above us, and the orange arrow says he's going that way. So we can kind of spot traffic as it's flying around. So we can look kind of out over there, slightly above us, and we might get a glimpse of him crossing.
Is it hard to determine like how high somebody really is above you? Because you said 700 feet, that seems like a lot, but you're so far up, so.
It's really hard to see other airplanes until you're like right on top of them. So if you're more than about 2 miles away, you're just not going to see them. Unless it's just a commercial jet, you'll see the jumbo out there, but you won't see just a private plane until you're like right on top of them. So a lot of times I see them on the map and I'm like, oh, there's a guy out there. And I'm looking, I never see them. They're just really hard to spot. But at least knowing kind of where they are can help, it can help kind of just alert us, hey, it's time to start paying attention. There's a guy out there.
November 6730 Whiskey, November 6730 Whiskey, on guard, contact Kansas City Center, 128.6, 28.6, for November 6730 Whiskey, IJET with announcement.
So this is air traffic control trying to get somebody's attention. They're like, hey, we're trying to talk to you.
So probably that guy that's already in the circle. So
Yeah.
down that way.
It could be him, yeah. It could be like, hey, are you coming, or are you going, or what's the deal? So here we go. So those airplanes are about, there's that white circle, that's 5 miles out. So he's about halfway, so he's about 3 miles out, and that guy's about 4 miles out. So they're going to be kind of hard to see at that distance. But we have two airplanes kind of going opposite directions that are about 1,000 feet difference. So they're going to be crossing. They'll probably see each other, though, as they kind of like pass each other. And then we're just kind of over here on the side. So this guy just changed course. Now, we got 3 airplanes, and we all want to fly in this one little bit of sky. Yeah, so they're like right on top of each other. All right, so we got downtown here, and this area out over here is all Lee Summit, and then the stadium's right ahead. You can just barely see the red
Traffic.
traffic warning. So the computer's telling us, you got traffic close by. Pay attention. Oh, there he is, right there. Oh, yeah. So that guy is 700 feet above us. Doesn't look like that far away. Yeah. And unless he's watching or he has traffic displayed in his airplane, he may not even know we're here. I always like to roll in on their tail and give them a quick gun blast, Just principal along.
Hey, buddy.
Just saying hello.
You didn't know who's here, now you do.
So, this blue line here is the very edge of Kansas City's airspace, and it starts at 4,000 feet. So we're at 3,760 feet. So we're just barely below it, and just barely outside of it. So we just gotta pay attention. We don't want to get into their airspace without talking to them. They frown on that. Not shoot us down with a missile frown, but, you know, definitely won't get a fruit basket this Christmas from them. We're going to inch down just a little bit, so we might hit a couple of bumps. Just to give ourselves a little more cushion with the edge of that airspace. Okay, so we've got a good view of the stadium coming up here.
Yeah, I see it now.
So when there's games going on, we can't fly directly over the stadium.
Because of the flyovers, so they
So the flyovers have special permission to do that, but without special permission, you can't fly over the stadium when it's being occupied for a game. But on days that there's no game going on, you can fly over it. So I don't see any cars in the parking lot, so I don't think there's anything going on.
Will somebody contact us if we're invading the space or whatever?
Well, as far as the FAA, they got records of everything. There's see all these airplanes flying around. It's pretty easy to tell kind of who's who. And so they might contact you and say, hey, we noticed that this happened. We'd like you to come down for a chat. Got some questions for you. And it could be just that simple, or it could be like, okay, we're going to do some disciplinary action, depending on how it all plays out. Okay, so we're at 3,500 feet. We got a 500-foot buffer, so we're good now. No worries about inadvertently getting into the airspace. We'll do a quick lap around the stadium, get a good look, maybe a few pictures.
Sounds good to me.
This is so cool.
I always try to talk about how big Kansas City really is.
Right.
And you can really tell it's so spread out.
Right, yeah. The downtown area,
That's the only compact.
yeah, you can kind of see that from a little ways away, but you can't see everything else, right? So it's so flat that, you don't realize that it's 30 miles of stuff, everywhere.
I used to think Dad was, when you're younger, was it like crop dusting and stuff, or,
Yeah.
I don't know if he did it as a hot night movie too, or if he did commercial stuff or whatever.
Right. So if you look, you can see there's some pretty tall antennas over here. Like there's one right over there. It's kind of a red light painted. So that's the other thing, just we're always looking for, towers and other things we might run into. Oh, there's a handful of cars over there.
I think it's a Royals game today, but
Yeah, they might be getting set up. We probably won't get any closer. I don't want to make anybody spooked. Yeah, if they're getting set up, we won't go any closer. Alright, well, I think we're going to head over and we'll go take a look at, we'll kind of go by Kearney and back on it over by Smithville Lake. Alright, you want to try a little flying? Sure. Alright, so let me explain the secret to flying this airplane particularly. The secret is just nice, small, smooth movement. So I tell everybody, think driving on the freeway. Small movements of the stick is all it takes to make the airplane respond. And you don't have to hold the thing with a death grip because the airplane is not going to come plummeting to the earth. It's basically just going to kind of keep flying and doing its thing. So that's the first thing, small, easy movements. And then the second thing is, we fly mostly by looking out over the top and kind of like keeping the nose in a consistent position to the sky. So, for me, it's a little different for you, but for me, if I take two fingers and I hold them out at arm's length, and the top finger is the horizon and the bottom finger is the glare shield, that distance is about level flight. Now I know if the nose comes above that, you know, I'm climbing. And if we get more than two fingers, the nose is pointed down and I'm descending. And so I just look out over the nose, and if I have about 2 fingers worth of width, I know I'm flying level. But take a minute and just look at what it looks like for you. And that's what you're going to memorize, and you're going to just keep the nose in that same relative position. Gotcha. Okay. Alright, so take the controls just nice and light. You can use both hands, but you just need one, really. And just rest it on your hand. And it's just small movements. Almost just, you know, very slight pressure with your fingertips is enough to make it do what it wants.
Yeah, you're right. Very.
Not a lot at all. Nope. Oh my goodness. And so we're just flying along straight level. You know, one wing maybe dips a little bit. You just correct it a little bit. Yep. And when you want to make a turn, just a little bit of pressure to roll in the turn. When you get the wings banked to where you want, then start putting pressure on the stick, and it will just fly in that turn. And when you want to roll out, a little bit of pressure the other way. Now, up, so pull back means up, correct? Yes, so pull back, raises the nose, and we climb. That's enough. Okay, let's change this direction just a little bit. So just gradually point us over that way. Yep. And the way it works, you know, when you're moving the stick, we're continuing to roll. But when you stop moving the stick, we stay at that bank angle. And when you want to level out, you just the other direction, and then center the stick when we're done turning. Alright.
I mean, people said this is easier than driving a car. I just didn't believe it.
There's just a lot more you have to know when flying. But the mechanics, the actual flying part of it, is actually really simple.
Easy.
It's everything else that goes with it. That's where the study comes in and all that. Yeah, so good. So you notice that the nose is kind of creeping up a little bit. This is just a light pressure on the stick, lowers the nose back to our level flight attitude. And that's how we fly 90% of the time. Just by looking out over the nose and just kind of making little corrections to keep us level.
You're just chilling here.
Alright, so we got a plane 2,000 feet above us. He's coming down, and he's going that way. That's probably a business jet going into Kansas City. He's out over there somewhere, just judging by how fast he's coming to us and how fast he's descending. It's going to be a fast mover. It's not just another Cessna or something like that. It's a jet of some sort. Yeah, he's already passed us. I never saw him. Alright, so now let's change directions over this way. Okay.
over angling.
Just move it back the other way to shallow the bank angle back out.
Right.
So you can constantly adjust, the bank angle. The steeper the bank angle, the faster we're going to turn. All right, that looks pretty good. All right, so let's get a navigation waypoint going here. That's about where Kearney is. So we will tell the computer we want to fly direct to that airport, and that will give us a course line. And we can follow that course line, and it will take us right to our destination.
Now we got a guy right there though.
Yeah, so we're not gonna exactly follow that. But if we were navigating, that's what we do. So actually, let's Excelsior Springs. We'll go there instead. It'll not take us out of the area. Okay, so there's our course to Excelsior Springs. It kind of gives us a top-down view, and this gives us all of our information. So it tells us where we're going. It tells us the distance, 10.2 miles, and the ETA, our estimated time to route. So 3 minutes and 35 seconds to get there. And we'll just keep going down. It tells us a ground speed of 165 miles an hour. So we're moving pretty good. Got a nice little tailwind of about, at least 20 miles an hour.
Okay, so the guy turned direction, so he's flying.
Yep, so he's going to cross in front of us, but he's 1,500 feet below us.
So we're fine.
Yep, so we're fine. Okay. So we'll just kind of keep an eye out and make sure, he's not going to climb up or anything. But, yeah, he's not going to be a problem if he stays where he is. So now the nice thing about this map, the way it's set up, if the course line is straight up on the map, we're going straight towards it, because our track is always up. So if the course line is straight up, then we're going right along the course line. Even if we're kind of off to the side a little bit, if we just put the course line straight up, we'll get there. It makes it real easy to navigate. Old school navigation would be, okay, so we need to take a compass heading. Okay, then we're going to fly a compass heading of 360 degrees, and we're going to hold that exact heading, and we're just going to fly, that direction until we get there. And that works, we still do that, but having a graphical depiction, it's easy at a glance to say, oh yeah, we're still going the right way. Okay, so now look at where the nose is. So we have the nose is slightly below the horizon, and we can see our altimeter is going down slowly. So we're going to know what it is then. You can just gradually bring the nose up with a little bit of back pressure on the stick until you get back to your level flight.
Now, if you do hit this air bump going, it kind of just rocks your boat a little bit. Yeah, you want to kind of use the stick to a little correct it, or just kind of find it out.
Just let it do its thing, and when it settles down and stops moving, you might be like that. Then you level back out again. So if you fight it, you'll just have a really rough ride. You're fighting the bumps and all that. Let it kind of bounce around, settle down, and then level out.
Gotcha.
And you do that, and the bumps won't bother you. I don't know if you can see it, but right down there, there's a skinny piece of pavement. That's Excelsior Springs, right down there. It's kind of surrounded by trees, and there's like a fat runway. It's a concrete runway right down there.
I see it.
Yeah. That's the Excelsior Springs Airport.
Yeah, that's downtown like Delta right there.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, we're cooking along 172 miles an hour. That's pretty good. Alright, let's change direction kind of over that way. Okay.
Is that the flow like right there?
What's that?
That's the flow like right there?
No, it's further out. You can just barely see it over there. So if that's 12 o'clock and that's 6 o'clock, it's about 10 o'clock right out over that way. It's real hard to see. It's kind of in the haze, but
I see it.
yeah, you can just barely see it over there. We'll kind of come around at it. We'll have to drop back down a little lower as we get closer, but we'll stay as high as we can, as long as we can. We're going to kind of swing around the north here, and we'll kind of get a look at Kearney. Although there's really nothing out there to see. But just give you a reference point of kind of where it is.
I think it's better for you to get used to the glare shield. I don't know what exactly the horizon is.
I know, yeah, you get a little bit of reflection, and, I spend a lot of time kind of looking off to the side, because straight out over it, you can't see real good. So, just kind of look off to the side, and that works. Alright, let's change directions this way again. So, we'll kind of follow the road section lines just off to the east, or the west way that way. Yep.
That's very painful up here.
Yeah. Alright, Smithville is starting to come into view more over there. Kind of out over this way.
Yeah, I see it. Over the 11 club.
Yeah, I got you. Alright, let's start a gradual descent so we can get underneath that. So yeah, just put the nose slightly down, nose down just a little bit more. Right about that. So that distance is a gradual descent, and we'll just fly kind of downward.
Nice and easy.
Yep, this is real easy.
So, what are we above right now?
I don't know. I'm not sure what this is. I have to pull up a different map to tell. We're not over I-35. 35 is still just a little further out over this way. We'll see it here in a second. And so I don't know what these little towns are kind of up to the east of I-35. So I think that's Kearney right there. That little cluster of buildings, I think that's it right there.
I can tell I'm getting pushed this way.
Yeah, hard.
So I keep seeing myself, like I'm pushing this way, still getting kicked out.
So now we're turning a little bit more into the wind, and we dropped to 130 miles an hour. So we were doing 170, and now we're doing 130. We haven't really changed speed, but now we're going into the wind. So it's a good 20 mile an hour wind. Alright, 3,500, that's good, so we can just sort of level off here for a little bit.
What?
Yeah, just we caught a snippet of somebody's transmission. Because these are all shared frequencies.
We're getting close to that first blue.
Right, so we want to be under 4,000, so we want to try to keep it at 3,500. Okay. When we get closer to the lake, we got to drop down below the next one, which is at 3,000. So we'll have to go down to like 2,500. Why is that? Well, as we get closer and closer to the airport, they start controlling traffic closer and closer to the surface. It's kind of a funnel.
Oh, you're right. So right around that 31st one. You start getting so bumpy.
Yeah. That's why we're trying to stay as high as possible, as long as possible.
Hello, folks. Hello. That's 35, right? Or that's 29?
That's 35 right there. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm thinking that's got to be Kearney, right off the highway there. Because you go north of it, and there's not a whole lot, and I don't see anything else that way, so. Get a little closer, you can recognize
that right there is Kearney. Further down, that's Kearney.
Yeah. Yeah, we can get a little closer, you recognize individual landmarks, you know, Fine Fusion and some of the other stuff that you recognize from the ground.
Hello.
And we got a few bumps. Alright, we're not going to spend a whole lot of time over the lake because we'll just get beat up mercilessly. But you can get a good feel. I'll go ahead and take over. And I'm like, hello. Yeah. Hello. I'll slow down a little bit too so we don't get tossed around quite as much. Whew. Hello. Unfortunately, I think we're going to stay up high. We're going to kind of skirt up here. And then we'll just kind of duck back into Roosterville. Get a little closer to the lake for a better look. I don't really want to get beat up. So this amount of turbulence is not dangerous. It can be a little uncomfortable, but it's not dangerous to the airplane. It's not going to hurt us at all.
Oh, I'm not worried about the plane. I'm more worried about my stomach.
Yeah, I know.
Once the bumps hit, I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
But we're just chilling up here. I'm totally fine.
Yeah.
A lot of those dips, stomach catches, like, ooh.
Yeah, and the more you get, you know, the more it just sort of starts working on you. So we're going to stay out of the bumps as long as possible.
That's a lot.
Yeah, there's a pretty good little chop on the lake. I can see it from here.
Oh, the small wave coming.
Just the wind starting to kind of, churn up the water. Instead of that nice smooth surface, it kind of has that model look,
It's not bad.
Yeah. see a lot of boats out there either, so.
Is this red circle Roosterville?
That's over the stadium. That's that little restricted area over the stadium. And that circle right there, the 0 and the 0, that's Roosterville. So we're not quite 12 miles away. So you can see the 12-mile ring is just on the other side of it. So we'll call it about 10 miles away. Alright, so I'm going to get on the other side of the highway because we're passing over the town here. See if you can spot the gym. It's going to be right down there. So if you get off the highway, go past the gas station, go through the first traffic circle, go to the second traffic circle, take that right into the complex with all the storage sheds and all that, and that's the gym right back there. That's it.
All right. Can't wait. I have to go to Jackie's house later today. I can't wait. Like, hey, I'll you guys in about 20 minutes.
Right. I've flown around at times, doing circles, wondering if maybe he would come out and be like, hey, there's Jeff, he's flying around. But, it's so noisy in there, they couldn't hear it. Unless we get low enough to rattle the roof, which I'm not going to do. That scares some people.
How far out do you have to fall to where you're going to land?
Well, we start giving advisories when we're right in the immediate area of the airport. If we're going into a big controlled airport, like Kansas City, as far away as about 20 or 30 miles away, to give them time to let them know we're coming and get us all sequenced in. But a smaller airport, just a few miles away. Alright, so there's Roosterville. It's right down there. You can't really see it from here. But we're going to go just another minute or so, and then we're going to start descending.
I'm going to get this vendor on standby. Shit.
Yep, sorry about this.
Very good.
Roosterville.
But that was the other guy I was doing flying around when we left. He must be giving rides to family or something. I saw those people standing out there.
Miami County traffic, left base 21, Miami County. Request that left downwind, Miami County.
Roosterville traffic, Sonex 604 Charlie Mike. We're about 2 miles east. We'll be entering on a base leg for runway 18 Roosterville. Roosterville traffic, Sonex 604 Charlie Mike on base for 18 Roosterville.
Sedalia traffic, Aztec 321 November Charlie is 15 miles to the south, crossing midfield of 0523, and we'll be entering a right downwind for runway 23. Sedalia.
Roosterville traffic, Sonex final 18 Roosterville.
All right, we are down. So why do you land on the grass and not the actual tarmac?
Well, I do a little bit of both. The grass is really easy on the landing gear. It's kind of soft and cushiony. The grass is in good shape, so we can do that. If it was rough, we would not want to do that. Also, because I was coming a little fast because of the wind, the grass has more drag to help slow us down, so we could get stopped a lot faster. So we hit some wind gusts. You heard that beeping?
Yeah.
That was basically warning us that the wind was really, really turbulent over those trees. So we went from flying to kind of sinking to flying, and so yeah, it was a little bit. I like to call it a little bit sporty. Just the air is moving around a lot.
I know, it did seem like you were coming down real fast before you hit the grass. I was like, woo, get free.
Yeah. So I wanted to keep the speed up because we were sinking over those trees. That's why I kind of sidestepped over to the grass and set it down right in the grass and let it let it slow us down real easy. So that's not a real typical landing, but on a day like today, we got to use all the tricks. Yeah, that windsock is straight out, so that's a pretty good wind. All right, that was right at an hour. Time flies, huh?